The stock market hit its record high this week. The S&P 500 closed at 7,757 points. That's the best week since April. My portfolio didn't change because of it. It didn't get any riskier. It didn't chase a rally. It just kept doing what it normally does: buying, holding, and paying 2 of my bills every month. None of that touches my paycheck. Right now, my account is sitting at $12,187.24. That's up $631.24 over the last 3 months. I didn't make a smart trade this week. My system just runs itself. Welcome back to another episode of Almost Wealthy. I'm John. I'm turning my portfolio into my own bank. This is phase 2 of my bill stacking plan. Today isn't about the stock market. It's about something more boring and more useful. How do I pick the next bill for my margin loan? Put a bill on margin sounds simple until you have 10 bills waiting and a portfolio too small for all of them. Most people ask me one question: how big is my portfolio need to be before margin makes sense? I already answered that in another video. Take your bill, multiply it by 100. That's roughly the portfolio size you need. That formula tells you the size. It doesn't tell you which bill to pick first. The order matters just as much as the size. Pick the wrong bill first and bad things happen. You might take on too much risk too soon, or you just leave an easy win sitting on the table for months. Here's exactly how I pick mine. I use my own account as an example. Think of it like a line at a store. Just because you're allowed at the store doesn't tell you who gets to check out first. There has to be rules for that too. That's what this video is all about. The rule for who goes first. Phase 1 wasn't my biggest bill. It wasn't even close. I put my phone bill on the loan first. That's $98 a month. Then I added my internet bill. That's $105 a month. Together, that's $203 a month running through my loan. I picked them because they were small. I wanted to get comfortable with the process first. The first time a loan pays a real bill for you, it feels a little different. It's not just math on the screen anymore. You want to watch the payment go through. You want to see the interest stay tiny, and you want proof, not just the formula. A $98 bill gives you that proof. And if something goes wrong, the damage is small. That's the real reason small bills go first. It's not the smartest math on paper. It's about building trust before you test something bigger. If I start with my biggest bill and something fell through, I'd have no room to fix it. I see 3 mistakes people make. Mistake 1, picking the biggest bill first. It feels like a fast win, but it's backwards. A big bill means a big chunk of interest right away, before you even test how the system works. Mistake 2, picking bills by the size alone, with no other rule. That sounds like my approach, but it isn't. A $40 streaming subscription is smaller than my $98 phone bill, but I wouldn't put it on margin first because it's not fixed. I could cancel it any month. It doesn't need to survive on the loan the way a real bill does. Mistake 3, no rule at all. Just add in whatever bill is annoying to you that month. That turns a smart system into an emotional one. Emotional decisions are how a lot of people end up in debt trouble. My rule isn't about size alone. It's size plus a few other filters. Get the order wrong and the cost isn't obvious right away. A bad pick can still get paid on time for a month, but the problems will show up later. A rate hike, a dividend cut, suddenly the coverage you counted on is gone. By then, the bill is already stuck on the margin. Undoing it wasn't as easy as adding it was. That's why the filter matters more than the momentum. Once my portfolio is ready for a new bill, not every bill qualifies. Here's what I actually check. First, it has to be fixed and it has to repeat. Same amount, same due date, every single month. A bill that has changes is harder to plan around. Second, the interest it adds has to be small compared to what my dividends bring in. When I added my internet bill, it added about $1 a month in interest. My dividends cover that many times over. That gap between interest and the dividends is my safety net. If the bill added interest ever goes close to my dividend income, I wouldn't add it. Third, it has to be a bill I own no matter what. Not a subscription I could cancel in 2 clicks. Not something that depends on my mood. A bill I'm paying regardless of how my month is going. Fourth, this is give or take, but most of the time it has to run on auto pay. I don't want to remember to pay it by hand, but sometimes I do, because sometimes I just want it to happen automatically, the same way my paycheck is used to cover it. Right now, my loan interest this month is projected to be $2.89. Last month, my dividends brought in $40.93. That's about 14 times more coverage than I need. That gap is what lets me sleep fine with a loan on my account. This is why groceries and gas will never make the list. Those costs change every week. Some weeks slow, and some weeks that doubles, depending on the situation. A loan doesn't handle changing costs well. It handles a fixed number showing up the same day every month. That's why a phone bill fits so cleanly, and a grocery bill never will. Before I check if my portfolio hits the next milestone, I do something else first. I look at my whole list of remaining bills, and I rank them using these same filters. My spreadsheet actually does most of this work for me. Every phase has a coverage number next to it. That number shows how many times my dividends cover the added interest. Phase 3 energy bill shows a coverage number over 30. That's based on where my dividend income should be by then. If a bill's coverage number ever looked thin, I push it back. Even if it was smaller in dollars than the other, size gets a bill on the list. Coverage decides where it sits on that list. Here's why the coverage gap matters so much. My loan rate is 5.65% right now. That rate isn't locked in forever. It moves along with the Fed rates, so it can go up. Say my dividends barely cover my interest, like $5 of dividends against $4 of interest. A small rate increase could flip that math against me. When the dividends cover the interest 14 times over, a rate bump barely matters. The cushion soaks it up before it even touches my paycheck. That's why I never add a bill with thin coverage. Thin coverage is how a good idea turns into a bad month. Wide coverage is what makes this whole thing boring. And boring, in this case, is a good thing. Let's actually test this. Say my rate jumps overnight from 5.65% up to 8%. That's a bigger jump than anything that's been happening lately. On my loan balance today, that's the difference between a few dollars a month and a few dollars more. Not a difference that hurts anything. Now stretch that same jump out at my phase 3. By then, my combined bills are $358 a month, and my loan balance has grown to match that. Even at 8%, the interest on that bigger loan still isn't close to my dividend income. My dividends earn about 5.23% a year across my whole portfolio. A rate hike really doesn't scare me, not because I think rate hikes won't move, but because I never let the rate coverage get thin enough for a rate move to matter. That's the whole point of a 14 times cushion instead of a 2 times cushion. Here's the part that people get wrong the most. They think I add a new bill on some kind of schedule, like every few months, which I don't. Every phase in my plan is tied to my portfolio number, not a date on a calendar. Phase 1 unlocked once I had $6,000 invested. Phase 2 unlocked once I had $10,000 invested. Right now, I have $11,225 invested. Phase 3 doesn't open until I hit $14,000. That's $2,775 away. I'm about 80% of the way there. Until I hit that number, the next bill just waits. It doesn't even matter how badly I want it to be added. It doesn't matter if the market just had its best week since April. My portfolio has to earn its way there first. That discipline is what keeps my loan small compared to my account. Right now, I'm borrowing about 5% of what my portfolio is worth. My limit right now through phase 1 through 3 is 12%. I'm nowhere near that right now, and I like it that way. If the market drops hard tomorrow, I still have plenty of room. Once I cross $4,000 in invested money, the next bill is waiting. It's my energy bill. That's $155 a month. Add that to the current $203, and my total jumps to $358 a month. That's a bigger jump than my phone to the internet. The first 2 bills were about proving the process to myself. This one is about proving the process can grow. $155 is a real bill, not a small starter bill. If I would have started there, back at $6,000, my cushion wouldn't have been nearly that comfortable. But by the time I hit $14,000, my dividends have grown too. The formula doesn't change just because the bill is bigger. It's fixed, recurring, small next to my dividend coverage, non-negotiable, automatic. I'm just applying the same 4 filters to a bigger number. Because now my portfolio can handle it. Zoom out on my whole plan, and I'll let you see the same pattern over and over. Phase 4 adds insurance, and that's happened at $20,000 invested. My running total combined to $446 a month. Phase 5 added $175, which is the electric bill, and that's at $30,000 invested. Running total, $621 a month. By phase 6 at $42,000, a $159 fitness bill joins in. Running total, $780. That's also where my growth to income mix shifts from 56% growth and 44% income to 65% growth and 35% income. I need more dividend power to keep my coverage wide as the bills stack up. Phase 7 adds $145 in subscriptions. That's at $56,000. Running total, $925. Phase 8 adds a $273 house cleaning bill, and that's at $80,000 invested. Running total, about $1,200. Phase 9 adds about $550 of daycare/school at $112,000 invested. Running total, around $1,700. Phase 10 is the last one on my plan right now. It adds a $1,600 mortgage payment once I hit $145,000 invested. My running total crosses around $3,300 a month every single bill I have running through the loan. None of it will be touching my paycheck, but do you notice something? The bills get less small and easy as the phases climb. The car insurance and electric bill are still fixed bills, but that's real money now. By phase 10, a mortgage payment is not a starter bill. It only works because my portfolio has grown to match it. By then, I'll have a 6-figure account, making enough dividend income to easily cover around $1,600 in bills. Every phase follows the same 4 filters: fixed and recurring, small next to my dividend coverage, something I own no matter what, automatic, so I never think about it. The bills get bigger. The rule never does. That's the whole reason this plan works at $10,000, and it would still work at $145,000. I want to be honest, because when you're doing this system, you do have that temptation. Sitting at 80% of the way to my milestone is the hardest spot. The bill is already picked. The amount is already known. It's tempting to just add it in now and let my portfolio catch up to it later. I don't want to do that. Here's why. The whole system feels safe for one reason. The coverage always comes before the bills, never after. If I flip that order even once, I'll be borrowing against dividends I didn't have yet, instead of dividends I've already earned. That's a different strategy, a risky one. It's not the one I'm running, and it's not the one I'll ever run. So I'll wait out. It's not exciting to film, but it's the actual discipline that makes the exciting parts safe. The milestones, the bills falling off my paycheck, safe to actually celebrate. So here's something worth saying plainly. My account could drop a lot before I'd ever face a margin call. A margin call is when the lender can force you to sell. Based on where my loan and portfolio sits right now, my investments would need to fall more than 90% before that even comes a real risk. That's not a promise it can't happen. Markets can do things nobody expects, but it explains why I'm not racing to add every bill as fast as I can. Speed isn't my goal here. Lasting another day is the goal. I'd rather take 2 years adding bills carefully than take 6 months and get forced out during a bad market. The order I picked bills was never about the fastest payout. It's about never having to ask, what if I was wrong, while I'm already exposed? So that's a real question. Which bills go on margin next isn't about which ones bugs me the most. It has to be fixed. It has to be repeatable. My dividends have to easily cover the extra interest, and it has to be something I own no matter what. Right now, that's a $155 energy bill waiting at $14,000. Last time, it was at $98 phone bill waiting at $6,000. Same 4 checks every single time. Same rule, different size. If you're ever building something like this yourself, don't start with the biggest bill. Start with one that lets you trust your system first. Prove that it works on something small, then let it grow within time. The size will come later. If this helps, subscribe. I post real updates from my exact portfolio every week. Just real numbers straight from my own account. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.